Hello, my name is Justin Adams, and welcome to Jay's Days. Should I say welcome back to my 25 days of Christmas movies. This is the time where I handpick certain movies, and I talk about them for your viewing pleasure. Today I'm going to be doing the movie Christmas with the Kranks. This movie has a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes, a 5.2 on IMDb, and a 22 on Metacritic. It's written by Chris Columbus, the guy that did the Home Alone movies and the first two Harry Potter movies. It's not that bad, you know, just like Pixels. Like Chris Columbus directed that one. He didn't write it, but he directed it, and just like Pixels, it's not bad, but you can definitely see the problems with it. Now, first off, I love Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis together. I think these two look so good with each other. I think that's because they gave Jamie Lee Curtis the dude that Jill had in Home Improvement, Tim Allen's wife in that. I don't know if that was on purpose or what, but it kind of looked like her. This movie is about the Kranks, Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis. They just sent their only daughter out to the Peace Corps, so she is now gone, and they have decided to skip Christmas and go on Hawaiian cruise instead. But this does not go well with everyone else in their neighborhood, as they are extremely Christmas heavy. We need decorations, we need carolers, we need Frosty on top of the roof. But they are like, no, we are not doing it anymore, and the town is like, yes, you must do it. So the movie combines Christmas materialism, cynicism, and it has an interesting setup to it. I like the idea of a couple trying to skip Christmas so they can save money for her Hawaiian trip. I think that's a nice premise. But the problem is the movie is PG, and I think it's another one of those movies that is PG, but you can tell it's supposed to be PG-13. There are things that are too adult for a kids movie, but just because they decided to release a PG, it's going to be a kids movie, just because it has Tim Allen, the guy that was the Santa Claus. Now, one thing I should say is that I don't hate this as much as everyone else does. I actually think this movie does handle its source material very well. But the only problem is they don't do anything new with it. Yes, the story is pretty good and pretty funny, but it's funny in the story. They didn't add any new ideas to it. Now, I like Tim Allen. Not a lot of people like Tim Allen, but I really do. He reminds me of Norm Macdonald. Not a lot of people like him, but he's like a comics comic. He's a guy that he has this dry wit about him, and he's just funny just by responding to people. Now, the movie's third act is where it completely derails. It takes the story and it skyrockets in flights. Boo! Afternoon delight. That was my William Shatner singing. The reason why it falls flat is because it caves into consumerism. The entire movie is like, we're not going to do this because we want to save money. We're not going to spend money on a bunch of pointless shit that isn't really what Christmas is all about. It was sending a message, but then it decides, after getting a call that their daughter is going to come back to visit after a week of staying away, she decides she needs to come back. They decide that they need to throw this party, they need to throw the Christmas tree up, and they need to conform to consumerism. It makes no sense to me. The movie has really no message. Then it tries to be sappy and tries to say, oh, these guys are changing, but they're not changing, they're caving in. It's a very sad story of how this couple was trying to get out, and then they couldn't. Overall, this movie's third act is where this movie sinks down. What at first was going to be a satire on consumerism turns into a movie about selling out. Tim Allen and Jamie Lee Curtis are charming, and there are elements in the script that are funny, but it turns into a slop of a mess that the film can never recover from. It just keeps digging itself into its own grave. That's what I think about Christmas with the Kranks. Have you guys seen it? If you want, you can catch it on Netflix. Check it out yourself. If you don't agree with me, then yell at me later. Alright guys, if you want, you can follow me on Twitter at I'mJustin_420. Please stay tuned. I have more reviews coming at you for my 25 days of Christmas movies. The month is still young.